Boom, there I am. Hey, how are you? Good morning. It is 7 o'clock on Wednesday morning, and I'm Scott, and I just wanted to give you a little bit of an update on what's going on with me, and just kind of wish you a good morning and kind of remind you that I'm not going anywhere. Here is how things are going on this Wednesday morning. Last night we had trivia at Max, and we do really well at trivia at Max. And last night, for whatever reason, we had a massive turnout last night at Max. I mean, we usually do well, but last night we blew the door off of it. So that was great to see last night. Great show of support. We appreciate you guys showing up for that, and we had a lot of fun. And we ran late because of everything that just because there were so many people there and so many scores that I had to keep track of that we actually ran late. I have another trivia today. This is one of those days. I say as we go on that I'm trying not to go on for as long as we have the last couple of days, but the reality is you guys have done a good job of keeping us going every morning. So we may go. I mean, I don't know. I'm going to try to keep this to 20 to 30 minutes or so because there is a lot going on today. Although I will tell you things are starting to slow up as we get closer to the holiday. But it doesn't mean that the talks aren't happening. The opportunities aren't coming in. The discussions are still going on. I got a great email from somebody making an amazing pitch yesterday that I'm going to have to pay attention to. It was that good. And I suspect it was kind of aided by AI, but you know what? They did it right. It's good. It was really good. And it was actually somebody kind of suggesting and proposing some things that had actually been on my mind anyway to do. So, but it kind of works for me and for them the way they pitched it to me. So those are some folks I'm going to have. And again, I'm sorry I can't get into a lot of details. There are a lot of reasons why I can't get into a lot of details. One, their negotiations just don't happen in the open, unfortunately. And there are a lot of different sets of negotiations going on right now. One of these sets of negotiations that is not going on right now is apparently getting out of my contract with iHeart. So today is supposed to be the first official day that I am not under contract, but I have received nothing in writing that indicates that. Therefore, we have a bit of a stumbling block. And that's a little frustrating. Again, they told me a week ago today that I would be receiving something shortly in the email, and I haven't received anything. And I'm getting a little antsy because we need to be able to move on. They clearly wanted to move on. In fact, they've installed a whole new automation system yesterday in the building for WGIG. So you get to hear the hiccups that come along with that. Congratulations. But anyway, so yeah, I don't know anything about that's going on, but I'm going to start rattling some cages. If I don't, I'm giving them a week, and today is a week. And if I still don't hear anything else, then I'm going to start rattling some cages. So we'll figure out what's going on from there. They sent it to my old work email. Brad says they sent everything to my old work email. No, they deliberately in the conversation asked me what email to send things to, and I gave them in fact, I will tell you, this is one of those things where you want to talk about just like corporate, machinery going on, and strangely efficiency, which I've not seen since I left. But the second they got off the phone with me, my old email was done. It didn't work at all because I was like, well, I need to go get a couple of things out of there. Nope, can't do it. Not there anymore. So yeah, and the thing is, the email I gave them, it wasn't difficult. You can't hear the GIG hiccups while you're boycotting. That's up to you. That's up to you. See, there you go. This is a thing that I was actually going to open up by saying, hey, what's going on the C word today, just to make sure that everything's okay. But you got wreck at the cutoff of Main and cutoff and Main Blythe Island Drive. Oh, okay, right there at the convenience store. Is that what you're talking about? That is good to know, because that's a thing that I do want to make sure things are happening. Let's see. If you're still under contract, you're still getting your salary. That's just curious, and that's kind of one of the sticking points is that I was supposed to get it through yesterday, and I haven't received anything in writing that says I'm not getting it today. But apparently, so we will figure all of this out. We will have to figure it all of it out. But the good news is when it's time for me to move forward, there's a lot of forward to move into. And that's a good thing. I might actually get into some issues because I've been reading the Supreme Court stuff and a lot of the reactions from yesterday. And I have some thoughts, and they're thoughts that won't make everybody happy. But that's, that's the thing. I was hyped you up big on Rule the Galaxy and Geek Out Loud last night. See, I Rule the Galaxy and Geek Out Loud. I didn't realize there was a combo going on last night, but that's awesome. I did have a really good conversation with Glosson the other day because I will tell you something. Glosson is one of those guys who is just very, very, very good at being an entertaining personality. And he's if what we do here grows into more than just what I'm doing here, which I hope it does, I hope it actually becomes some kind of a team. I can't see doing this without Steve Glosson involved. I hope that he feels the same way. We'll see. Good morning. Good morning, officer. Oh, good morning. Good morning. Yes, a lot of people giving us a good morning. Good morning, 111. Good morning, former neighbor. Oh, yes. You're still a Jacksonville bureau chief as far as I'm concerned. So good morning to you. Good morning, Christina. Oh, hey, good morning. Thank you for coming out to trivia last night. I appreciate that. That was wonderful to see you. Debbie, hello. Hello. Good morning. I'll tell you, we got a lot of folks wishing us good morning, and I do the same to you, of course. Indeed. Let's see. What else do we have? Oh, Sally. Look at Sally. Sally being so sweet. Thank you very much. Let's see. Need a number. Boy, there are people. All right. All right. I'll spend that part of the morning where I'm going to do numbers for the South Georgia 40. All right. I will do that. I can't do this all the time, but this has gotten hilarious to me that people are wanting South Georgia 40 numbers right away, which, by the way, one of my things, I have to move Christy Nettles, and I apologize to Christy Nettles now. I realize I gave you a number we had already given to Glenn Hester, and I apologize. Christy Nettles is now 148. I'm doing that right now. I apologize. But yeah, a long time ago, we gave Glenn Hester 144. And we did that in advance, and I didn't have that linear placement. So the next number up is 149. And Michael Lawrence wants that one. So he's going to get it. Because by golly, I aim to please. That's all there is to it. I think we have our our phone system needs taken care of. I think I reached out to a lot of people to try and figure out what is going on with the phones and how you can do a phone system and do it well and do it on the internet and all of that. And what I have come up with is the first thing that I came up with is kind of what I wound up sticking with. I don't like the price of it, but I was exchanging some notes with Jimmy Mack. Jimmy Mack is one of the hosts of Rebel Force Radio. It's probably one of the best produced podcasts there is, and they do a talk format when they go live, and they take phone calls and they screen them and all of that. And the solution he told me they were using was the solution that I kept hitting upon. So it's a little pricey, but we're going to make it work because we've got people who are lining up ready to sponsor us. So we'll be okay. Is Garrison still? Yes. Weirdly enough, he has received no communication, no direction, no anything. But yes, in fact, he was still trying to do the news after I was let go. Bless his very responsible, dedicated soul, was trying to do the news and realized he had no access to the system. They had taken all the local news out of GIG, which, you want to take the news out of a news talk station. And so he just was kind of, I don't know what to do. He actually asked me to help him write the news, oddly enough. And I was kind of like, oh, I don't want to do this, but you know what? You're my son. So yes, I will do that. So Brad's going to take 150. All right. You get 150. Brad Cooper is now, whoops. Let me do that in a way that I can actually read it. There we go. So Brad's 150. All right. Dan Dean, good morning, Scott. Did you see the views of the British tourists visiting Brunswick there on the Southeast Georgia News page? Good plug for the Southeast Georgia News page. And it is on Facebook, and it's a good repository for news. And yes, I saw it a couple of weeks ago, and it is fantastic. If it is the whole half hour went on there, Dan, did you guys post the entire half hour or is there some kind of a, because somebody sent me a truncated version as well that was kind of shorter, but there is a whole half-hour version where, and I don't know if you've seen this or not, but it's kind of, we were talking on the show about Freddie the German, and Freddie was over here just marveling at all the stuff that he found in America, and just like the things that we take for granted, they're just astounded, but they are astounded by Buc-ee's. He was over here doing some World Cup tourism, and he showed up in Helen, Georgia. He loved Helen because he's German, and he was like, it's like having home right here. And it was just, Freddie has been so refreshing to watch because so many people are down on our country. So many people who live here, born here, raised here, down on our country as we approach the 250th anniversary of this wonderful, wonderful place. And so Freddie was just this great, great, wonderful thing where he's discovering America. And Freddie deactivated his Twitter feed or his X account or whatever. And he did it so because he was being harassed. Believe it or not, people on social media were harassing him. And why were they harassing him? I mean, think about this. What was the guy doing with his account? Now, what they did, they were trying to find old tweets of his and find things where he might have said something a little ugly. And guess what? All of us do say things that are ugly from time to time. It's just a reality. It's the being a human being thing. So why did they go after him? I mean, there's only one reason I can think of, and that is because he was pro-America. He was being positive about America. And so they were attacking him en masse. So he deactivated his Twitter account, unfortunately. And it's a shame because it was so wonderful. The other thing, people were accusing him, you've been to America before. Quit trying to tell people you've never been to America. And he never did say that. But he, as he pointed out on Instagram, because he is still on Instagram, what he was pointing out was that he's been to America before, but he's generally been to all the places that tourists are supposed to go, the big metropoli, if you will. New York City and Washington and LA and that kind of thing, but he'd never been to small town America. He said he'd never been to the American South, and the American South is what absolutely blew him away. He'd never been to small town America, went up to Niagara Falls. Slowly I turned. He'd never been to Niagara Falls, and he sees that and he's just amazed by everything and the town around it and everything. It's just fantastic. Oh, there you go. I told you, when we were doing the Golden Empire Network, we got all the way from a little bit of North Florida all the way well into South Carolina. And the great thing is, now that we're not doing a program on the air, we have gotten a lot of comments. I've gotten a lot of emails and responses from people all up and down that network. We affected people everywhere, and it was fantastic. I really, really appreciated it. Mitch, your number is 147. That number again is 147. I feel like I'm calling bingo or something. Oh, let's see. Do appreciate you covering any government or current issues you feel important. I will do that. I will tell you, I've not been able to show prep the way I want to show prep because most of my days have been filled with doing things that are related to moving forward. And again, it's fantastic to do, but yeah, it has hurt me a little bit. But I will say this, I heard so much outrage over some of the Supreme Court stuff yesterday that I went, I'm going to go look into this. And, one of the things that happened yesterday, Supreme Court released their decision striking down President Trump's executive order on birthright citizenship. Now, I've got to tell you, I warned you about this a long time ago, and I warned you about it again about 2 weeks ago because we knew the decision was coming up. Right after Trump issued the executive order on birthright citizenship, Andy McCarthy wrote a really well put together piece on the history of it, on where, legislation has typically been involved with it, where the courts have been involved with it. And he essentially said, look, there are ways to limit birthright citizenship, but it all rests with Congress, and none of it rests with the executive branch making decisions. Executive branch, can enforce what Congress does, but Congress has to do it. And so that it was a piece that really rang true with me and resonated well with me. And I said, this makes the most sense. And so I've kind of held that position all along that this executive order was going to get struck down. And it did. And if you pay attention to Kavanaugh, would like to direct you to Kavanaugh's concurrence. He joined the majority in the decision, but he didn't join them in their reasoning. So he wrote a concurring opinion, and I feel like his opinion is the correct opinion in that Congress can limit things. Congress can say, you can't stay over here, you can't do that, you can't come into the country if you can do it however you want to do it. We can restrict our borders, but the wording of the 14th Amendment is pretty clear, and again, the way in which you interpret it has historically been the function of Congress. So if you want to change anything, you got to do it at a congressional level. And a buddy of mine last night said, but Congress won't do anything. And it's like, don't say they won't do anything. They've done things. They've been doing things, but, will they act on this? I don't know. I will tell you this. The biggest issue with birthright citizenship right now, and it's an issue that can be taken care of right away, is, and I think the administration is kind of doing this, is this notion of letting people loose in the country who are claiming asylum. Because again, the courts are so backed up that they are years before they have their hearing. Over 95% of them are not granted because they're not legitimate claims for asylum. And in the meantime, they get years to come in and establish themselves in here, job, house, child that then becomes a citizen that then, is able to keep them in the country. And, if you want to eliminate that kind of thing, to me, that's where you do it. So I wasn't surprised. And I guess one of the things that really frustrates me about the conservative movement right now is if you look on balance of the Supreme Court term, it's been really good. The Haiti decision, the term overall has been very good for conservatives. And there are a couple of things that some people on the conservative side didn't get, and they want to throw everybody overboard. And there was a period of time where conservatives got almost no wins in this realm. Just couldn't get wins. And now you're getting about 90% of what you want, and you still want to throw everybody overboard because you're not getting 100. And I say, you don't throw people overboard for giving you 90% of what you want. You may let them know your displeasure about the 10%, and you may want to speak up and present reasoned arguments as to why you think they're wrong about the 10%, but you don't throw people overboard for giving you 90% of what you want. In this day and age, that's pretty darn good. Johnny Wynn Sr. I saw a truck backed up to that laundromat, and Mrs. Rifen is very anxious to watch our Ruggables. So hopefully that thing will open soon. Looks like there was some serious work being done. Listen to Rebel Force Radio I got to tell you, it's the best podcast out there. And I say that as a guy who produces and has produced, 4 or 5 different podcasts. And I still say they're the best. And you know what? After all these years, they're still the best. It's just amazing. Let's see. Someone made a song about the World Cup visitors called "Best Sleepover Ever." I'll have to take a look. For that because that sounds like it is. Sounds like it's a fun one. I'll definitely check that out for sure. But anyway, so this is where things are right now. I'm still sitting in here. I will also tell you this. I have, and every offer, understand, there's really only been one firm offer made, and I had a discussion with that person, and we're going to talk negotiable, and we're going to negotiate. And, the great thing is nobody I've heard from have just been evil, mean, nasty, wicked, horrible, terrible people. I mean, everybody that I've talked to has been really good and really, interested in working with me, which is great. And by the way, I'm really, really easy to work with. But we're having some discussions. I'm going to have more discussions. I got more people approaching us, and I'm going to learn more next week. This week is, I'll be honest with you, starting today, it's kind of a wash. Because starting today, for right or wrong, starting today, people are starting to check out. People are starting to get in holiday mode. And I'm okay with that just because it's a great holiday. I love the 4th of July, Independence Day. I love the fact that it's the 250th. I think that's fantastic. So I'm not unhappy about all of that. And we're going to skedaddle down the road a little bit on Friday after I do this. And we're going to take off ourselves for a couple days, and we'll be back on Sunday. So I'll keep doing these morning meetings, morning chats, fireside chats, whatever you want to call them. I will keep doing them, and I'll tell you what's nice is I'm paying attention to the numbers, and the last couple have gone over 6,000 views between Facebook and YouTube. Now, what does that mean exactly? Well, it means we're reaching a very sizable audience. We're reaching a large number of people. We're not reaching radio number of people just yet, but we're reaching a lot of people, and it's heartening to know that that's happening. So we're just going to keep trudging forward. Let's see. Oh yeah, Holy Ghost Trucker Morning Worm. Oh, that's the worst nickname I've ever been given. I don't get a lot of nicknames, but that's a bad one. It is the progressive left that is solidly behind birthright citizenship, especially knowing they heavily support socialist and communist countries. I do wonder, however, if they could tell us how many of their allies have birthright citizenship. Yeah, it's not a typical thing, but it is something that is put into the Constitution. It was amended for the purpose of making sure the slaves were legal citizens. I don't know if people understand the ramifications of Dred Scott. The Dred Scott versus Sanford decision. If we're going to get into this, we're going to go into the weeds. Let's talk about this. Dred Scott versus Sanford essentially made it so that no black individuals could become a citizen ever. And that is so out of step with the founding of this country. That is so out of step with what we are about as a people. The Dred Scott decision, honestly, is, it's offensive on so many different levels. And one of the things I think they wanted to do when they did this was they wanted to refute that once and for all. But the other thing is, you have to remember, this was a period of time of large scale immigration to this country. And if some family came over here from Italy and they had a child, then it was only right that these guys were going to have a citizen child, a natural born citizen. If they came over here from, yes, even Ireland, and they had a child, it was only natural that they become natural born citizen. And so that, natural born citizenship, birthright citizenship in and of itself is not a bad thing. It's the abuse of it that's the problem. And that, again, is where Congress can step in and limit the scope and do what they're doing. Let's see. Bob, this is such a great point. Bob Greenfield says, looking back through old family photo albums, you can tell when you're looking at pictures from 1976, everyone's wearing red, white, and blue clothing. I'm really excited about the 250th, but I will tell you that one of the things that very much disappoints me is, because I remember 76. I was a kid. I was 5, turned 6 after the 4th, but I remember 76, and I just remember us being together on this. We had our differences, sure. We had an election year, for crying out loud. And so, you would think during an election year would be one of the years when we'd really be split as a culture, as a society. But we all seem to be unified around that 200th anniversary, that bicentennial, and that spirit that came with that. And sadly, I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing, again, because people just don't like our president, they just don't want to participate in the history of our country, or the success of the history of our country. And I think that's sad. And I think that's very short-sighted. I hope one day the people who just refuse to join into celebrating the birth of our nation 250 years ago, I hope one day they regret that and wish they had a do-over. Sadly, I don't know that they will, because so much of our politics is nowadays founded and fueled by animus and dislike and hatred. And, it's just, and all that stuff just drains me, because I think we should all be positive and work together. Still have support from 1184, and I appreciate that, sir. No doubt about that. And, when we get to doing a thing for real, and this is not the thing for real, but when we get to doing a thing for real, there will be plenty of big, juicy guitar riffs just for you. How about that? So anyway, as I said, I wanted to keep this somewhere between 20 to 30 minutes today. I didn't want to go crazy today, but I do appreciate all of you guys showing up. Know that, again, I'm kind of still in somewhat of a limbo, but I'm trying to get the ball moved forward. I've been hearing from a lot of people. There's some great ideas, some great suggestions, some great thoughts, some great proposals, and I'm getting it all in there, getting it all squared away. Last time we were All Americans was September. Well, that may be a thing. That may be a thing. And that's true. There was great unity on that day. I remember that day. Good morning from the West Coast of Georgia. We appreciate you being there, sir. I talk about us being in the South Georgia 40, but there's a West Coast to South Georgia as well. So appreciate you being there, no doubt. But yeah, there's a lot happening. I expect it to slow down in the next couple of days. We'll see. I have a trivia this afternoon at Marsh's Edge. It's for residents. Sorry. And I'll tell you this. We go out to Marsh's Edge and, I go out there for trivia, and it's gotten to the point where I have to leave an hour early to get there because traffic is so bad. And I told Mrs. Rifen today, I think I'm going to leave an hour 15 early today because it is so big, busy, and packed. And I just have a feeling it's going to be even worse with all of the traffic coming in for the 4th of July. Charleston Co-Bureau Chief checking in. Thank you very much for doing that. I appreciate you and the mister, believe me, very much. When will the next South Georgia 40 meetup? The thing about that, let me, if I can also delve into this a little bit more, because I don't know that everybody understood all of my job, but my job with iHeart was to do the radio show. But I was also the program director of 3 of the 5 stations, and I was the operations manager for all 5 of the stations. So that having been said, I would get there at 4:00 in the morning, and most of that first 6 hours until 10 o'clock was consumed with WGIG things. Not all the WGIG things I need to do, but mostly WGIG things. And then after that, much of the rest of the day was spent still doing WGIG things, but also doing things for the other stations. So one of the things that I think is going to be great and empowering is I don't have to worry about the other stations. I just have to worry about doing what we do here, which means we're probably going to have more time and opportunities to do more South Georgia 40 meetups and a little more variety too. How do you expect us to understand all of your job? No. And again, there are a lot of things that are just not getting done right now that it's sad. And I don't know if it's like my personal sense of responsibility. I don't know if it's just habit, but I am literally like, there are times when I'm like, I can't, this needs to be done, but I can't, but it needs to be, I wish somebody was doing it. I wish, and I can't, don't miss St. Simon's traffic. Now work in Richmond Hill, much less traffic. So do you commute or is it, because yeah, St. Simon's traffic is rough. It is absolutely rough. You're wise to leave early. The island is busy with lots of vacationers. What's great about that is, obviously it's great for the economy, but what's fascinating, I guess, is what I should say for me is I already have to leave an hour before it starts. But the fact that I'm going to leave an hour and 15 before it starts, and it's a thing that's just like right across town, blows me away. That's like almost Atlanta style stuff. But I'm going to do it. And we'll make sure we get there on time because those guys, they have been great. What's going to be interesting now is how those guys are going to react and respond, because a lot of them listen to the show. And they're senior citizens who are very, very used to getting exactly what they want. So, yeah. How am I going to get concert tickets now? My daughter loved the Journey show in May. I don't know. Again, that's the other weird thing. We had a giveaway that we were supposed to do this week with the there's a Toby Keith tribute show at the Ritz tomorrow. Not the Ritz, I'm sorry, at the Performing Arts Center at College of Coastal Georgia. And we were supposed to do on WYNR on the country station this week. We were supposed to do a ticket giveaway. Never got to do the ticket giveaway. But again, not my thing. I can't do anything about that. I can't, it's not for me now. I don't know. Maybe I'm not getting I'm not getting a ton of rest right now. Mrs. Rifen again yesterday went and shut my phone off without telling me about it. And fortunately, I found a couple of. There were some calls I really needed to have and I really needed to be on, and I got on them because I saw it, but I noticed it at some point. But yeah, it's there may be more rest. I know Mrs. Rifen is pushing for more rest for me. That's one thing I will say. Commute from Brunswick to Richmond Hill Golf Club takes the same amount of time as it did to get to Hampton Club on the north end. You know, I dated a young lady who's a tremendous human being, late 80s, brief period of time, but she lived in Hampton. And that was a haul. Even then, you know, not even talking about the traffic of today, this is the late 80s. It was a haul to get there. So, yeah. And when I went, it was deer everywhere too up there too. So, well, no, they didn't think about the things that have to be done. They just looked at a spreadsheet and said, we've got to find $50 million this go round. You know, they're in the process of this $150 million savings. And yeah, they weren't thinking about what people do. They were just thinking about how can we make the numbers look good. And so they just started hacking and slashing basically. So, you know, it's what it is. But the reality is I think it's turning into something that's going to be great for us, for the area. I think it's going to be great for you guys. I think it's going to be good for me. I did a lady in the 80s, not her 80s. You stop it. Just stop it. You know, that's the exciting part. And that is both the exciting and the scary part is, you know, forging that path forward and doing the most with it and making the most out of it and doing the most with it. And because there are a lot of things I really want to do and have wanted to do for a long time. And, you know, the second part of the job, as I said, have kind of been one of those things that's held me back from it. And so this should give me an opportunity to move forward and kind of turn everything that I want to do. Because a lot of what I want to do is all, and I don't want to get into details of a lot of the things that I would like to do, but a lot of it all kind of centers around a lot of what we've done, just making it fit, making it good, making it quality. And, you know, it's going to be a thing. You know, this I know. And this I have heard from many, many, many people. And again, it's been great. It's been wonderful. I don't want to relive it every 5 seconds for everybody because I'm sure people are getting sick of hearing it. But I do appreciate everybody. What Bob Humke would say about the way it all went down. That's stupid. Yes, he absolutely would have said that because it was really stupid. Well, you know, then the thing, and I don't want to get into all of that nonsense, but you know, the week they are firing people in one of the biggest firings ever because they need to find the money, the CEO and CFO are in Cannes taking in the film festival and doing photo ops over there. And I just, one of the worst looks, I think, you know, do this a different week or something, but don't do it the week you're going to do a big splashy, extravagant trip to Cannes. It's a bad look. You know, we've got to find money somewhere. Excuse me while I go to France and hobnob. Just not a good look. Just not a good look. And Marie said, yeah, it really has been. It's been the best blessing. And to hear from it from so many different, to hear about it from so many different people from so far away and from just so many different walks of life has been terrific. And yes, Marie, I look very forward to talking about the wreaths later this year, and I hope we're able to do that. All right, guys, I did tell you I wasn't going to stay on too long. I did say I was going to try to do 20 to 30 minutes. We're at 36 minutes already because things go. But I'm going to go ahead and take my leave of you for right now because, again, there are a lot of people. I didn't say in the can. Cannes. It's pronounced can. You know that. You do a film podcast, for crying out loud. Anyway, I got to get out of here. Hope you guys have a great day. I've got a lot of things to do today that aren't related to the moving forward, but related to the kind of everything I would have been doing anyway outside of work. And so this is just going to give me an opportunity to kind of do it a little more thoroughly and a little better. But I'll be back tomorrow morning. I will be here at 7:00. And then my plan is to continue coming to you at 7:00 every morning and with some greetings, some updates, a little bit of commentary, which we did. And, we'll just keep doing that until we have a direction forward. But trust me, I'm not doing this in a rudderless fashion. I am looking at everything, and there's a path that I want to see. There's a path that I want to travel. And, what they say about a sculptor. And, a sculptor, he takes a big slab of marble. You tell him to sculpt a man, and he basically takes a big slab of marble and says, I'm going to remove everything that doesn't look like a man. And that's kind of what I'm doing. There's a path that I see, and everything that's kind of being put in front of me right now, I'm looking at and I'm removing everything that doesn't look like that path. That room looks cool. It is very cool right now, actually. Quite cool. Nice and chilly. Jamie, good to see you. All right, guys, we got to get out of here. You guys have a great day. I will see you later. I will see you tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. I'll be right here, so I hope you will be too. Take care.